across to our UN correspondent, Philippe Bolopian. Philippe, why has it taken so long to launch this appeal? It's now been 2 weeks.
Well, it always takes time for the UN to launch such appeals. There was in this case a problem of accessibility. It was very hard for the UN to send some teams on the ground to evaluate exactly what the needs were, but they did that anyways. And it's important also to note that they didn't wait for this appeal to start helping. As it happens, the UN had a pretty heavy presence in the northwest because there was a huge humanitarian crisis already last year when the army was attacking the Taliban strongholds in the northwest. Something like 3 million people had been displaced. So the UN was on the ground. They had tents, they had food, they had medicines, and they started right away giving all of that. And they also have what's called an emergency fund. So when something like that happens, they can right away start spending money to help people. And the money was already flowing in the country from day one.
Philip, back to you in just a moment. First, let's take a listen now to how the Pakistani ambassador to the UN described the scale of the disaster.
Army displacement was within 2 million. And here we're talking a number which is 5 times, 6 times, 7 times the amount. And this is horrendous. While we seek the help and assistance of the world and all our friends in that world in achieving this target for $459 or $60 million, we will say this is just a beginning, because I think it's going to get much worse.
Philippe, how is the UN going to convince other countries to donate money? Could the fact that extremists are moving in to help survivors be a cause for concern?
Of course, I'm sure it is, and countries like the US or the UK, I think, are acutely aware of it, and that's partly why they have started helping right away, including by lending some helicopters for the Pakistani army to be able to go in very hard to access regions. It's a difficult situation because it's been reported that groups close to Taliban or to extremist groups have been helping, sometimes in a more visible way than the government. So, of course, the UN wants for the rest of the world to do its part to show that they are there on the ground. But it's not easy because some areas are extremely dangerous for foreign workers. Last year, it was one of the most dangerous countries for the UN to work in. So there are a lot of concerns, but many countries understand that there is more at stake here than just a natural catastrophe.